Hi guys, welcome to Data Talk with Ifeanyi. In my previous video, I discussed about Power BI. Power BI is a business intelligence tool that is used for data visualization, giving of reports, and building interactive dashboard. In today's video, I'll be discussing about Python. Python is a programming language that is used by data analysts. I'll also show you how Python is used in data analysis using Jupyter Notebook. Python is widely used for data cleaning, data analysis, and data visualization, especially when it has to do with wide or large data sets. So guys, let's dive into it. What you see currently is Anaconda prompt. This is a Anaconda prompt interface. This is where I load my Jupyter Notebook. What you are currently seeing here is my file directory. This is where my file directory or location is. So the next thing I'll be doing is to load my Jupyter Notebook. How do I do that? I type Jupyter Notebook, then I click enter. I am telling the computer it should open a Jupyter Notebook for me, because that is the interface I'll be using to run all my Python commands. So what it does, or what it just did now, is to load a Jupyter Notebook interface for me, and it makes use of browsers. It defaultly open it through my Chrome browser, and this is the interface. This is my Jupyter Notebook interface. This is my file directory, which I earlier mentioned when opening my Anaconda prompt. This is the file we'll be using for our analysis. Let's jump into it. So the next thing I'll be doing now is to create a new Python notebook, which I'll be using to run all my analysis. So to do that, I'll go to new, click on new, and click on Python 3. So he opened a new Python notebook for me, and I'll be using this notebook to run all the analysis I'll be doing. So basically it's going to give you a name called untitled one, so we'll have to rename it. You double click on untitled one and you change the name. Let's call it practice underscore Python, and you click rename. As you can see, it has changed to practice underscore Python. That is the name of our notebook. What you are currently seeing now is an interface of my Python notebook under Jupyter, and this is a cell. This is a cell for code. I can either change it to markdown. Markdown is when I'm doing or writing things that has to do with text, not code, not command. I can use markdown in cases like when I want to give my code a heading or a title. But in this video, we'll just be using code to run our code. So after I've opened my Python notebook, the first thing I'll be doing is to call my libraries, to import my libraries. There are two key libraries you must use when making use of your Python notebook. The first library is import Pandas as PD. That is the first library, very important. And the second library is import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So these two libraries I just imported. The first one has to do with data manipulation, which is Pandas. It's a very strong library for data analysis in Python, and it's very good for data manipulation. The next one, which is the matplotlib, is for visualization, charts, and all that. You'll be seeing how it's being used as time goes on. So after I've typed all these things, the next thing I should do is to hold my control and enter key. That is me automatically running it in my Jupyter Python notebook. So now I've imported my needed library. So guys, after we've successfully import our needed libraries for our data analysis using Python, the next thing we should do is to load a data set. Load the data set means importing a data set into our Python notebook. So to do that, we have to add a new cell by clicking the drop down there. Then to load a data set, you call a data frame, then you assign the data set you are calling to it, which is pd.read underscore csv file. You open parentheses, you call the name of the file sales underscore data frame, data set dot csv. You close it. Now to see the loaded file, you do the frame dot head. Head means you want to see the first 5 rows of your data set. This is just as if we want to test run what we just loaded. If it brings out error, that means our loading wasn't correct or the name of our data set wasn't correct. So let's give it a try. Press Ctrl and enter. This is the first 5 rows of our data set, and it's telling us or it's showing us that our data set is correct. So the next thing we'll be doing after loading our data set is to do what they call data exploration. Let's explore our data. So you add a new cell, and this time what we'll be doing basically is to explore our data. To explore your data, you can check the info about the data. That is df. Df stands for data frame. It's like a data frame that is housing most of the commands we'll be running. So we are saying df, give me the info about this my data set, this data set that was assigned to you. Control and enter. So if you scroll down, you will see all the information that you need to know about your data set. It's telling us our sales rep 25. Null means it doesn't have any empty space and is a string type. Sales is an integer type. All my data has no empty space, and as for this, it's telling you is a integer, and for this it's telling you is a string. Then if you notice, our country is having space. That means our country is not well arranged. It's having space in the naming, so we have to clean the data. Another way we can check information about data, to check the summary statistics about our data. To do that, you say df dot describe, control and enter. You scroll down. So this is the statistical summary of our data. This is the count, the mean, standard deviation, the mean, the quarter 25%, and that for max. This is just like the statistical overview about this data set we'll be using. So guys, we've been able to do a basic data exploration. The next thing we'll be doing is what we call data cleaning. So add another cell and scroll down. So like I said earlier, we notice our country is having space, so we have to remove that space so we can do our analysis properly. So to clean our data, we'll use basic data cleaning. So the first thing to do that, you call your data frame colons equals to df dot colons this is the command. It's telling you should strip out any empty space. This stands for string. Should strip out any empty space in our column. Then you run it by pressing Ctrl and enter. It's not going to show you any output, but it has automatically removed every empty space in your data set. Also, we can also just do that for removing of empty values, null values, empty cells. To do that, say your df equals to df dot drop now. This command is used when there's empty cells in your data set. So the next thing we'll be doing is to run basic analysis. Let's see how we can do or run some basic analysis with our Python. add a new cell. To run basic analysis, let's try to calculate the total sales by country. Let's calculate the total sales by country of our data set. So to do that, you call your data frame as usual, group by, you call your country colon, then what are you grouping it by? Grouping it by sales colon, and the command is to sum it. Give us the sum total of country sales, then you run it. So guys, this is the sum total of our country in accordance to how sales were made in each of this country. So this is it, but it looks confusing. There's something missing. What is that thing missing? It should be presented in a visual form, maybe in a chart. That way your employer or your audience can easily understand what is going on here. So to do that, we'll be moving next to data visualization. What we just did now is data analysis. We're able to summarize our sales by country. So the next thing we'll be doing, like I said, is data visualization. So add a new cell, scroll down for data visualization. Let's run this particular analysis and create a bar chart for it. So to do that, we go with the command code, group by country, sales, dot sort underscore values ascending equals to false. You do this when you want it to ascend in descending format. If you want it to be sorted or ordered in descending format, then plot. What kind of plot do we need? We need a bar chart. Then the title should be total sales by country, plot dot show. Let's explain this code before I run it. So this is the data frame and it's grouped. Our data is being grouped by country. So what we want to see is the sales distribution by country. Yes, telling us sort values in ascending first. That means our values will be sorted in descending form. Then this command is to plot your chart, and we want a bar chart. This bar stands for bar chart. This is the title and telling us to show the chart. So let's run it. It gave us an error code because one of our command is wrong. That is one thing about computer, it only gives you the right output. So since we're having a wrong command, let's check what the issue might be. So we look at our code again. This is data frame and this is group by country, well spelled, there is no error. And this is sales. Also we are grouping by sales, and we forgot to add sum. We need to see the sum value of it. That was the thing that was missing. You see how very sensitive your data can be and your Python code can be. Any slight mistake, even if it's a full stop or a comma, it can bring out error. And when there's error, there's confusion or there's a wrong data representation. So the thing that was missing was our sum. We are supposed to sum the sales by country, which I just added now. Let's run our code again. So this is the visuals well presented in descending form. So you can see France had the highest sales and Togo had the lowest sales. So guys, I was able to import our needed libraries. Pandas is needed for running data manipulation in your Python code. Matplotlib is used for data visualization, which was the last thing we did. This was how we loaded our data, and our data set name was sales dataset, and it's a CSV file. This is how we loaded it. The .head is to check the first 5 rows. This is like testing your data set if it was well loaded. .info is to give a summary or info about your data set. It's going to give you the columns and the total row and everything. Just basically telling you about your data set. It's telling us we have 25 entries, which is 25 row, and our columns are 6. This is our columns well arranged. And I also mentioned that the country wasn't aligned well because there was a space while imputing it. This was an error which we later had figured out and handle. The next thing was description. Describe command is to describe your data set. It's just like giving a statistical summary about your data set, which was this. Then we moved further to data cleaning. This code was to remove extra space in our column, and this was to remove empty cells in our column. Then we also moved down to data analysis. This was when we analyzed our data. We checked our sales distribution by country, we sum it up, and it gave us all the countries in our data set and their total sales. Then we now move forward to creating a visuals, a bar chart to best describe this analysis we did above, so our audience or our board or our employer can have a clearer view or understanding about our data set. So this is a simple example on how Python is used in data analysis. We're able to import important libraries used for data analysis. We're able to load our data, clean our data, analyze our data, and visualize our data. Guys, Python is actually a powerful tool used by data analysts. If you find this video useful, if you enjoyed this video, kindly like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys.